Welcome to Coach's Corner Cat fans. Thanks for joining me on this rainy, first time we've had rain for a long time, but on this rainy Monday afternoon with Mike and I here in the CPAC. So today we're going to talk about the Minster game, the Parkway preview, a couple players, Owen Layfeld and Max Cook. I got I've started this year, I guess, former players, and I think those of you who are from Coldwater will like this one, I think. All the winnings over these past, since I've been here, I guess, almost probably close to 15 winnings and several brothers that we'll talk about here. Briefly, going to talk about the boosters a little bit because they had their booster night in the park, which was a good fun night. Raised a bunch of money. And then that will be it. So hopefully you're enjoying these. I'll start showing some film here in these next couple weeks just to give you a little insight on how we operate and do things. So back to the game on Friday night. Really, really proud of our players. The way they bounced back after the Anna game just didn't quite got what we wanted, obviously, win-wise. And we found out this last Thursday night at our captain's meeting that our seniors had on last Sunday had an all-players meeting that we didn't know about. So really proud of the seniors for taking on the accountability, I guess, and kind of interesting, like Corey Klinke did our captain's meeting theme Thursday, and it was all about accountability. So everything that they brought themselves together and talked about and said, hey, come on, boys, we can do this, and let's get back on track and have a better week of practice, which we did last week. And so I guess that's the most proud thing of the whole weekend was that those seniors took it upon themselves to get us back on track. The game itself, I guess, was a surprise. Minster against Minster, we won 34-7, and that their last drive took the whole fourth quarter. Basically, I think it was a 16, 17, 18 play drive. We had a bunch of our seniors that don't play quite as much, and a bunch of sophomores and juniors in there that are several JV guys. So we hung tough, and they scored with 5 seconds to go. So it was a great game for us. We played really, really well and got into a really good physical game and won that physical battle. We won the kicking game and basically we just played great defense. I think we held them to 2 for 10 on third downs, and just played really well. We made a couple adjustments personnel-wise more than anything, and so we felt like our O-line guys, our 5 O-linemen who were playing a lot of defense, we just felt like probably not big and strong enough to be two-way guys. So we threw in 3 big sophomores. Colin West-Curtis at nose, not real big, but a 195 athletic wrestler guy. Braylon Gerlach's about 230, and Nolan Gruce is about 6'3", 6'4", 225, 230. So those 3 played the whole basically pretty much the whole defensive game up front, and that really helped us a bunch. We got Sammy Rissmiller back. Healthy, and Josh Schreier came back healthy, so we had 5 linebackers playing and rotating. So those guys did a really good job. So obviously, the more players we can get out there fresh, the better off we are. So I mentioned the kicking game, and I almost talk about weekly the importance of kicking game, and so if you're a football fan and you watched the games yesterday. All the pro games with block field goals for touchdowns and missed field goals and made field goals to win games, lose games, block field goals, all that kind of stuff. And so we put a good emphasis on our kicking. And of course, with Bryce Couchot is just playing great, punting and kicking. I think he had 4 more touchbacks the other night on kickoffs. He had two in the 30s field goals. He's up to 80 in the mid 80s consecutive extra points. So along with our long snapper Bennett Spriggs, you got to have 80 in order to make 85. You got to have 85 good snaps, and Carson is our holder. So getting them down and protecting all that stuff. all that stuff that leads to wins and losses. So really proud of our kicking game. And so they're doing a good job. So leading to moving to Parkway. Parkway is 0-5 right now. They got an idea of how to do things. Just maybe just don't have the physical tools, I guess, maybe. And we all go through it as coaches when your players maybe aren't quite as good as what you hope for, and maybe they're young and all kinds of things like that. So Parkway is a spread offense, kind of similar to us, I guess. They like to throw it and try a bunch of different ways to get the ball to different guys. Defensively, we're seeing a 4-man front, similar up front to Minster, without a lot of stunts and things like that. Although they do tuck one of their linebackers more inside compared to Minster had 2 outsides and 1 inside. They're probably a little bit more two in the box, as they say, and 1 outside. But we're looking forward to getting better this week and taking on that challenge with at Parkway, and that's a 7:00 game. So support staff, we're gonna go with the Boosters, and so the Boosters had their one of their big fundraisers last weekend. It was great. It was before the game, after the game, so tailgate with some food trucks and had a bunch of auctions and had some what's the word I want? Drawings for cash and drawings for prizes and all that kind of stuff. So they made a bunch of money. We sold a bunch of 56. I think we sold 55 old jerseys last week that were actually in really good shape, but just old style, and got all those sold. So just those Boosters do so much for us with everything from equipment to bleachers to the scoreboards. The new scoreboards in the gym are awesome, and the new scoreboard here at the stadium has been great. So the Boosters certainly helped with all that stuff and help with all our sports, and really pretty much whatever we ask for, they take care of it for us. So hats off to the Boosters, and thank you to the Boosters for taking care of us all the time. Let's go to like I mentioned, the former player spotlight, I guess. And so, at some point in the week, it just hits me. What about these guys? What about this group? And so somehow the Wennings hit me. And so some of these last names are not Wenning, but they're from the Wennings. Either their moms or dads were Wennings. So Ray and Mary, and again, if you're a Coldwater person, you know who Ray and Mary just have done so much for our community, and lots of businesses that the Wennings run and own, and most of those Wennings, 16 kids Ray and Mary had, I believe, and most of those Wennings are still in Coldwater. So as I look back from the time that I got here, so I'm just going to go through about 10, 12 players that are all from that Wenning name, and played for us, and good players, and most of them were playing in good runs in the playoffs, and several of them, in fact, most of them played in the state finals, and several of them are state champs. So the first one was Rob, and so his dad was Ron, and so Rob, my first year here, he was an offensive lineman. Rob actually works for the Saints right now. He's a strength and conditioning guy for the Saints. He was a no lineman for us. I believe Keith, maybe Aaron Gillen or Keith, but I'll just go with Keith first. Keith's dad, Mike, played for us, and I got to know Mike a little bit right when I moved. He was just a few years older than me and played for my dad, was a really good player. And again, if you follow us, Keith, obviously I think is our only player who actually played on a roster in the NFL. Ross got in the camp. A couple guys got in the camps, but Keith actually, played for 3 or 4 years. So Keith was a state champ as a sophomore and a runner-up as a junior and a senior, I think. And so Keith was a quarterback for us, went to Ball State, really, really good player. The next up were the Gillens. So Joan there, the Gillen's mom, right? Joan was a really good basketball, one of our first really good girls basketball players, and was a teacher, long-time teacher. She just retired, I think, last year or 2 years ago. But 4 sons, and a daughter. But her 4 sons, Aaron, Brad, Nick, and Greg, all played. Aaron was on our starting lineman on our 2007 state championship team. Brad and Nick were O-linemen on a runner-up team. I think our 2000, maybe 11 team, I guess 11 team. And then Greg was with the 2015 team. So all the Gilliland boys were really good players, and their sister, I'm drawing a blank, Lauren just is a new teacher for us, and she was a great volleyball and basketball player and played at Ball State, played volleyball. So Joan Gilliland was all their moms. Next up are the posts. So Rose and Chris. So they just they were running Southside and involved all the time. But they had 4 boys: Brian, Kyle, Jared, and Petey. And so again, Brian played in a couple state titles. Kyle played in one. Jared was a state champ. And Petey was on a state champ. And so Brian, Kyle, and Jared, Petey, different positions. Brian was an O-lineman. Kyle was a DN. Jared was a guard. And Petey was a really good, sorry for it, it's the older brothers, but Petey was the most athletic of the crew. He was a really good running back, outside linebacker for us on that undefeated 2015 team. And so all the Post brothers, that was fun having the Posties. They're back in and in and out of town. Kyle was in the service, so did his time. I think I can't remember. I don't think he's still in, but possibly. Next up are the Waits and Teresa Waite, right? She's another military girl, and her sons Adam and Drew played for us. Not too long ago, Drew was a starting line. Adam had some injury issues, so didn't get to quite play as much as he would have hoped. But Drew went to the Air Force Academy and is a fighter pilot like his dad, I think. And so I'm not sure how far along. He's pretty close to being done, I think. So Adam and Drew Waite. And then last year we had Cody Depwig, and I believe, I'm not sure of this, I think Patty, Cody's mom, is the youngest of the girls for sure, and maybe the youngest of all the 16 winnings. And again, if you follow us, Cody was a really, really good linebacker and fullback last year. So that's kind of cool, all the winnings over the years, all those boys playing for us, and dads, and I'm sure some of the dads played. And the moms are just solid families that have really kept Coldwater going. I talk a lot about people that move away, come back, and are really good town members and do a lot for the community and those types of things. So proud of all those weddings. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. I might have, and those are the ones that jumped out at me in that half hour that I kind of thought about it. And then finally moving on to our player profiles. So 55 Owen Layfeld and 65 Max Cook, kind of similar guys as far as being part of our team. Those are our 2 starting offensive guards. They were starting at D-line, and like I said, they're both a little undersized for, I guess, typical O-linemen, but just tough, smart players that really had great weeks last Friday night. And so we did take a lot of the pressure. I don't know about pressure, but that physical part of playing both ways off of those 2, along with our 2 tackles. So 5 O linemen and 3 D linemen just playing one way, and you could just kind of tell the energy, the effort. Was very evident that those guys are playing fresh and playing hard, and fortunately it worked because of the score, and so that really helps us when we get more guys out there. So 55 Owen Layfeld, 65 Max Cook, and did a great job for us, and we're going to keep moving forward, and like we told the boys, we're not going backwards from here. We're going to keep moving forward. So we go to Parkway this Friday at 7 o'clock. And hopefully you can make the game. If not, watch it on Huddle.